Hi, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about something near and dear to my heart, which is hospitality with a focus on hosting. I have been the lucky recipient of some really, truly world-class hosts in my lifetime. I was thinking about so many of my experiences, but there was a woman probably 35 years ago who invited me over to her home for tea. She had a little cottage, and I was new to the neighborhood. It was just an experience that I never forgot. She had a little dining table and one of those teacup caddies, and had me pick out a cup, and she had a beautiful teapot and a plate of cookies. It was so simple, but it just was so welcoming and such a loving and accommodating gesture for someone who moved into town as a new neighbor. So at its roots, hosting is kind and accommodating and friendly and loving, and it's just someone offering. It's a love language, actually. I think it's its own category. So, but we have a family restaurant that we go to, and they know our names. They know everyone's names, and you just feel welcomed. So that's kind of I would say the what of hospitality. How the process that I've gone through for years, and I am the person who does the holiday meals, and I have for many years. So I do have a process that I go through that I'm going to share with you today to make it easy and enjoyable for you, the host. Because if it's not fun and enjoyable, if it's very stressful, chances are you're not going to want to do it next year. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I do is creative and fun, outside of any kind of commitment, because at this point you're just creating an idea of what you would want to have, whether it's cocktail and hors d'oeuvres, or a dinner party, or dessert and coffee, or all of the above. It's where your mind can wander. You think in terms of like what kind of feel you want the party to be. And I get inspired by books, magazines, go online. An inspired host, it's contagious to your guests. So if you're not inspired, why even bother, if you ask me. So get yourself all excited and just have that vision with you. After that, it needs to have legs, which means you assess how you're going to actually pull it off, down to every detail, as far as like napkins and glassware and dishes and service pieces, centerpieces, what kind of food it would be. At that point, you run it through a budget, your schedule. If it still works, great. You can tweak it at that point. And again, it's outside of any kind of commitment. You haven't invited anybody. It's just all happening in your head, and then you're making lists of everything. And once all those things check off the boxes, then it's time to invite your guests. Now it's time to send the invitations. And if it's something simple like come for tea, that's a phone call, that's a text message, especially if it's someone that you're really close to. However, if you're wanting to elevate things and have it extra special, I found this app called Canva that makes these little invitations that you can text message. And they're really creative and cute, and that's just a fun way to invite people over for a dinner party, say, or even for a tea or cocktails. So timing is everything when it comes to having gatherings. So I would say, depending on how busy your loved ones are, they might need 2 or 3 weeks to get back to you. If it's a holiday, probably 6 weeks, I would say. But the big thing is for yourself to give yourself at least a week. Even if it's a dinner party, and you're having one other couple over or a few friends, at least a week, so that you can do a little something every single day and it protects you from being overwhelmed. That's how you maintain your enjoyment of having a party. And then the next thing is, once they do respond, that's when it's helpful to find out if they have any food restrictions, if there's anything that they're allergic to. Now's the time to figure all that out before you actually purchase any food or any drinks or get really firm on your menu. Those are the steps of invitations. So at this point, you know who's coming, you have your number, and this is an opportunity to do a mock-up so you feel really confident. If you're interested in seeing how I do that, I have a video, Get Ready With Me Easter, that I walk through that whole process. It's linked up here. And then the second video is a part 2. It's called Easter Prep. It's where I show how to do the centerpiece and the table decor the week leading up to the party. So those, I think, are very helpful. They go into much more detail. One thing I would suggest, if this is new, to do a make-ahead meal like a lasagna or a hearty soup or chicken pot pie, something that can be made, say your party's on a Saturday, something you can make on Friday and put in the refrigerator and then just bake off, purchase a dessert, and then just serve the entree, the dessert, maybe a coffee, and it's perfect. And things that are really difficult, that have a lot of last minute cooking, probably are not ideal for a dinner party. If you want to enjoy your guests, like pastas, any kind of cooking that's being done at the stovetop takes you away from the table. So that's just a little tip for your own enjoyment. Now that you have your guests, table, food, drinks, centerpieces all worked out, this is the part of hosting that really can elevate your party, that is really, really fun. And I would say it starts with assuming your role as the director and realizing that you get to direct the party however you want it to go. And there are a few ways to do that. One of them is, it's really fun to move a party from room to room. So let's say you're having cocktails in the living room, dinner at the dining table, and then dessert out on the patio. You can even move the party around. If you're having a picnic in a park, it can still be moved. It just makes it a little more exciting, I think. The other thing is, part of realizing that you're the director means that your guests have absolutely no idea where you want them. And guests are so kind, they will go wherever you are. So if you're in the kitchen, they will gather around you in the kitchen until you show them otherwise. And the easiest way to do that is to take the food, like the hors d'oeuvres or even a bowl of nuts and the drinks, and then set it down. Go with them to where you want them to be, and stay there just for a minute until the party kind of kicks off, or the conversation, and then you can go back to the kitchen if you need to be in the kitchen. The other thing is, let's say that you're inviting an adult child and they're bringing a friend. Even if it's family, I think the thing that is the most important when people come to your house, even if it's, your own adult kids, is to acknowledge them at the door and to welcome them in. But especially newcomers, acknowledgement is huge, that you recognize them, you know them by name. And I'm talking about, like, if you're having a big party, know their names ahead of time. Show them where to put their coats, where to put their handbag. Those are all really important aspects of hospitality. If it's a really big gathering and you can't answer the door, then you can, ahead of time, ask people to handle certain roles. So maybe you want to have someone keep the water flowing at the dinner table, or someone to pour the wine, or someone to clear the dishes. Those are other things that you can enlist members of your family or friends to do ahead of time and see if it's something that they want to do. But these are the things that really elevate a party from being just come have dinner to something really special and memorable. Lastly, I thought I would share from a host point of view what hosts, or at least this host, really appreciates in guests. And I'm not talking about like your kids or family members, but assume nothing and ask about everything. So if you're wanting to help clear the table, ask about, washing dishes or getting something out of the refrigerator, or any way that you're wanting to be helpful. Ask, and then listen to what your host says. Maybe they'll say, "Oh yes, please, thank you," or "No, thank you," and then respect the answer. There are reasons why hosts would say no, and I think it's really important to respect that, even when you're wanting to be helpful. Also, if it's tea, if it's a cocktail, no need to bring anything. But I think if it's a dinner or a dinner party, and your host has gone to a lot of work, offer to bring wine, or if they say, "Oh no wine," maybe some flowers, a little bottle of soap, hand soap, something just to acknowledge the effort that they've taken. And that just means the world to a host. A host isn't doing it so that they can get stuff. It's just a way of showing some gratitude. So with that, I have to say here that I am so touched by all of your comments, new subscribers, old subscribers, not that we've been going that long, but I am so deeply touched and by getting to know you, and you've just restored my faith in humanity. So thank you for that. I look forward to just more and more interactions as we go forward here. I hope this video is helpful for you today, especially as we move into the holidays, and I hope that you feel encouraged in some way. But that's it for today. We hope to see you again soon.